AOC says so many people in this country hate women. Oh, geez. Even the guy at the party who pulls out a guitar is like, way to ruin the fun. You don't really love America if you hate half the people in it. And also, if you hate a lot of the things that everybody always loved about it. There's an oft-repeated moment in political debates where the moderator says to the two candidates, say something nice about your opponent.
Bill Maher has once again grabbed the mic and set the internet ablaze. This time, his target was none other than Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, the queen of performative outrage herself. And believe me, it wasn't pretty. With his trademark calm delivery and razor-sharp wit, Maher took direct aim at AOC's constant habit of trashing America from the comfort of her elected office. The way he broke it down left even her supporters speechless. AOC had recently gone on another tirade claiming America is filled with people who hate women. But Maher wasn't buying it for a second. Even the guy who brings out a guitar at parties is like, way to kill the vibe, he joked, slicing right through the drama. It wasn't just a roast, it was a reality check delivered on a silver platter. Maher laid out what many Americans have been thinking for years. If you hate the country so much, why are you part of its leadership? He reminded viewers that patriotism isn't a dirty word. It's not oppression to love your country, and it's not hate to call for strong borders or protect law and order. Yet somehow, AOC twists every debate into a battle of morality.
What do you think of the fact that the people who are getting the big crowds right now are AOC and Bernie Sanders? They're going around the country. Thank you, there's that same guy. I call him the always wrong guy. Okay, but I feel like, big crowds, again, the shiny object that the Democrats chase. It's not about the big crowds that come out to you when you're talking in a festival or wherever they are. I think it's because I think Bernie showed up at Coachella. That must have been fun for the fans. It's who shows up on Election Day. And I just don't see that's the ticket. I mean, Cory Booker, I know you've worked with him. I like Cory a lot from my home state of New Jersey. Made a speech for 25 hours. Again, just whacking each other off. This is just not what's going to get the job done.
The crowd ate it up. And not just the studio audience. Online reactions exploded with agreement. Comment after comment poured in slamming AOC's message as divisive and delusional. Maher then pivoted to the growing problem with the Democratic Party being held hostage by its most extreme voices. And right there, at the front of that parade, is AOC, megaphone in hand, shouting into the void. He said flat out that the DNC is playing with fire. Elevating figures like AOC might get you clicks and viral clips, but it won't get you a single swing voter in Ohio. And that's the brutal truth. Remember when Kamala Harris was the media darling? Huge crowds, celebrity endorsements, glowing magazine covers, and yet when the primary came around, she didn't even make it to Iowa. Maher drew that exact comparison and warned, don't confuse Twitter followers with political traction. Charisma might get you applause, he said, but it won't get you Pennsylvania. And he's absolutely right. He even said the Democratic Party might be better off with someone who has the boldness of Donald Trump, just without the chaos. Now that set some heads spinning. But the point was clear. Say what you will about Trump. He doesn't run from questions. AOC, on the other hand, gets flustered the moment she's asked something slightly off script. Need proof? Just watch that awkward interview she did with NPR. When asked if Democrats were also guilty of weaponizing the Department of Justice, AOC paused, blinked, and sputtered into a barely coherent mess. The silence spoke volumes. She clearly didn't expect to be challenged, especially by friendly media.
Unemployment is low because everyone has two jobs. Unemployment is low because people are working 60, 70, 80 hours a week and can barely feed their kids.
Everybody's an idiot except for me.
Capitalism has not always existed in the world, and it will not always exist in the world. When this country
It is the system that, unlike all the others, has lifted more people out of poverty over the course of human history than any other system.
Well, so I think that those things that you talk about, that you discuss, are part of the course of human evolution. Yes, but I also think that what people are starting to see, at least in the occupation of Palestine, is just an increasing crisis of humanitarian condition.
Her brain hit pause while she scrambled to spin an answer that wouldn't sound hypocritical. And that's the irony. The very people who scream about accountability fall apart when the spotlight is turned on them. AOC has mastered the art of outrage, but she melts the moment someone pushes back. Maher showed that clip and let it speak for itself. The hesitation, the word salad, the nervous smile, it was all there. And for someone who claims to be fearless, AOC sure looked rattled. It's not just about one bad interview, it's about a pattern. AOC doesn't handle pressure. She performs for her base, then shuts down. The minute facts interrupt the fantasy. And that's the difference. Maher calmly walked through each point, exposed each contradiction, and dismantled her argument without raising his voice, without name-calling, and without backing down. The audience roared with laughter, but also with relief. Finally, someone on the left, brave enough to challenge the narrative being forced down everyone's throats by the loudest voices on social media. And that brings us to the most important point. Americans are exhausted. They're tired of being told they're terrible people for loving their country, supporting the police, or wanting their kids to learn math instead of political slogans. Maher's monologue was more than a rant. It was a rallying cry to bring sanity back into public discourse. And judging by the reaction, it struck a nerve. The silence from AOC's supporters after Maher's takedown was deafening. Usually, they're quick to defend her with hashtags and talking points, but this time, crickets. That's how you know the truth hit deep. And Maher didn't stop there.
At an AOC Bernie Sanders rally in Idaho last month, someone threw a Palestinian flag over an American flag, and the crowd erupted in approval. What should have happened after that is one of the adults on stage should have told their young, loyal followers, this is not a symbol of freedom. This is. This is a serious problem for Democrats. Less than 1 in 4 Democrats under 30 say they're proud to be an American. 54% say they're embarrassed by it. Embarrassed? Like America's your mom picking you up at school? You're embarrassed to be an American? Well, guess what? The feeling's mutual. Because you have no perspective. Is America perfect? No, of course not. No country is.
He moved on to AOC's infamous showdown with Tom Homan, the former ICE director who calmly obliterated her entire argument about immigration enforcement. She accused Homan of being the architect of family separation, hoping to paint him as a villain. But Homan stood his ground and fired back with one of the coldest comebacks ever captured on Capitol Hill. He said, "If I get arrested for DUI and have a child in the car, I get separated from my kid. That's not cruelty. It's the law." Boom. The hearing room fell completely silent as AOC tried to find a response, but there was no comeback because she had none. She was exposed, caught in the act of turning law enforcement into political theater. She thought she could play to the cameras, but Homan brought the truth. That moment was a defining one, and Maher brought it back into the spotlight with surgical precision, showing just how flimsy AOC's arguments become when they're tested by facts instead of applause. AOC didn't want to debate policy, she wanted to score points. But Homan was there to defend real-world border enforcement, not entertain her grandstanding. And once again, she folded. Maher's entire monologue had one goal: to wake people up to the game. AOC keeps playing. It's not about justice or equity, it's about headlines, trending hashtags, and viral moments. But Maher reminded viewers that governance isn't Instagram. You can't fix real-world problems with feelings, retweets, and empty slogans. At some point, substance has to replace spectacle. And that's what the far left doesn't understand. They think emotion is enough to lead. That if you cry loud enough or speak passionately enough, people will ignore the consequences of your policies. But Maher said it best.
You don't really love America if you hate half the people in it. And also if you hate a lot of the things that everybody always loved about it. There's an oft-repeated moment in political debates where the moderator says to the two candidates, say something nice about your opponent. AOC says so many people in this country hate women. Oh, geez. Even the guy at the party who pulls out a guitar is like, way to ruin the fun.
America doesn't need influencers in Congress. It needs leaders. And if AOC wants to be taken seriously, she has to stop acting like an activist and start acting like an adult. Let's not forget another stunning moment. When AOC refused to call out Hamas after last year's horrifying attacks. When asked if she'd call it genocide, she danced around the question with pitiful evasion. She said, "You're going to cut this and clip it out of context," completely avoiding the actual issue. Suddenly, the moral clarity she demands from others disappeared into thin air. The crowd watching that exchange couldn't believe it. AOC, the same person who claims to fight injustice everywhere, suddenly found her voice missing when asked about one of the clearest atrocities in recent memory. Maher didn't even have to say much at that point. The hypocrisy spoke louder than any punchline. AOC only stands up when the outrage fits her agenda. And when it doesn't, she either looks away or plays the victim. That's not courage, that's cowardice wrapped in rhetoric. Maher called it a moral mirage, and he's right. AOC talks a big game when the cameras are rolling, but shrinks when challenged on anything that might hurt her public image. This is why so many Americans, even moderates, are losing patience with her act. You can only perform for so long before the curtain falls, and when it does, the applause stops too. The backlash was swift and brutal. Social media lit up with clips of Maher's takedown. Even some liberals admitted it was long overdue. One viewer commented, "Finally, someone said what we've all been thinking." And that's the power of what Maher did. He exposed the gap between AOC's image and reality, between her theatrics and her total lack of solutions. It wasn't loud, it wasn't angry, it was calm and devastating, but the real nail in the coffin came when Maher calmly reminded everyone of the most basic truth.
For all the talk about fighting for the soul of America, nobody seems to like it very much. Too many liberals give the impression that to them, America is just a big, ugh. The red, white, and ew. A country that started out bad and will always be bad, founded on an unrelenting history of sucking and unable to change. But we have changed a lot. Democrat Cori Bush tweeted, "This land is stolen land and black people still aren't free." And this was on the 4th of July. Really? Not that I give a shit about the 4th of July. I've never been a rah-rah guy. But I am a perspective guy. And that's what too much of the left has lost, perspective.
If America is as evil as AOC claims, why do millions still risk everything to come here? That question hit like a lightning bolt. Maher wasn't being cruel. He wasn't shouting. He was simply stating what most Americans already know deep down. This country, for all its flaws, is still the most sought-after destination on Earth. That's not a coincidence. It's a testament. Meanwhile, AOC continues to paint America as a villain in her never-ending quest to reimagine everything. But what exactly does she want to replace it with? That's the part she never explains. She attacks the foundation of the country while offering nothing but vague dreams and fiery speeches in return. But speeches don't fix economies. Hashtags don't lower crime. And selfies with activists don't secure borders. Maher exposed all of that without breaking a sweat. And in doing so, he drew a clear line between serious political discourse and the TikTok-style politics AOC has made her brand. Every time she opens her mouth to bash the country she was elected to serve, she weakens her credibility. And Maher made sure the entire country took notice this time. He didn't need a panel of experts or a screaming match to make his point. He just connected the dots, and what those dots revealed was a damning portrait of someone completely unfit for national leadership. AOC may be a darling of the far-left online bubble, but in the real world, where jobs, safety, and accountability matter, her narrative collapses under its own weight, and Maher didn't let her escape that reality. As he wrapped up, Maher left the audience with one final warning. If Democrats keep letting their loudest voices steer the ship, they'll find themselves sinking faster than they ever imagined.
72% of black people under 30 are optimistic about their future in America. Way more than white people the same age. And as far as the land goes, yes, I guess we could change the name of Captain America to Captain Stolen Land. But honestly, to all the people who start every public event now with one of those land acknowledgments where they say, "I'm standing on land that was stolen from the proud indigenous people of the Chumash tribe," I say either give it back or shut the fuck up. Congressman Jamal Bowman says capitalism is slavery by another name. No, it's not. It's the thing that has given more people more prosperity and hope than any other system, flawed though it surely is.
And judging by how fast AOC's popularity is fading outside her bubble, that iceberg may already be dead ahead. Americans are paying attention now, and they're not liking what they see. Even liberal viewers are waking up. Many are realizing that endless outrage doesn't solve anything. It only divides and distracts. And Bill Maher, he just became the unlikely voice of reason in a political world gone sideways. This wasn't just a critique. It was a total dismantling of a political persona built on emotion, division, and double standards. And Maher didn't even raise his voice doing it. AOC's defenders tried to mount a comeback, but it fizzled almost instantly. You can't spin facts. You can't meme your way out of real questions, and you can't accuse everyone of hate just because they disagree with you. That's what makes this moment so satisfying for so many people. The illusion cracked, the narrative buckled, and the truth finally had its moment under the spotlight. It's a turning point, a reminder that just because someone's loud doesn't mean they're right. And just because someone has followers doesn't mean they have wisdom. Maher's calm, focused, brutal honesty reminded the public that the loudest person in the room isn't always the smartest, and sometimes it takes a little courage and a lot of clarity to say what everyone else is afraid to. In the end, AOC got what she never saw coming: a mirror. One that showed her the limits of performative politics and exposed just how shallow her brand of activism truly is when the applause dies down. This wasn't just about politics, it was about truth. And the truth is simple. America deserves leaders who love it enough to improve it, not tear it down for likes and sound bites. So if you enjoyed watching this moment of calm, unapologetic truth, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment your thoughts below. Let your voice be heard, and let common sense make a comeback.